Dear viewers, welcome back to KNS Biochemistry. In this video session, I am going to explain about the concept of quantum mechanical computers. Here we are going to see about quantum principle, then quantum computation and quantum mechanical computers. So let us watch the session now. Quantum mechanical computers. So for over 50 years, the last 50 years, we had traditional electronic computers. These electronic computers are working with a principle that is they have remained almost the same like those prepared by Turing and von Neumann. They prepared this principle for this conventional electronic computers. Modern computers are very quick and work unfailingly, but do not compute massively in parallel connecting up to about 9,000 processors. So other their faults are connected with their large dimensions, about 10,000 nanometer cube per 1 bit, that 1 bit area, and their great energy consumption, though smaller 1,000 times than 50 years ago. So 50 years ago, when the first computer came, first generation computers, vacuum tubes were used. Vacuum tubes were used. You see that they had consumed a lot of energy. But now the computer size has come down. When it becomes smaller and smaller, you see that 1,000 times. You see that their energy consumption has come down. So now you see that researchers and computer experts are convinced that some alternative technologies needed, some alternative technologies for these electronic computers. So instead of electronic computers, you have to go for some alternative. What are those alternatives? Quantum computing and molecular computing. Both are the alternatives for electronic computers. Quantum computers, molecular computers. Molecular computers are otherwise called DNA computers because DNA is a nanomolecule. So these two, that is quantum computing and molecular computing, are potential candidates for such technologies. And we see that they are under extensive research development now. Under research, it is going on now. So to perform computing with DNA molecules, the DNA is a molecule, a nanoparticle. So computing with the help of a DNA molecule is called DNA computing. That is DNA computing. You see that in DNA computing, information is stored in DNA molecules because DNA is used for computing. At the same time, if you are using quantum principles, that is quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics, you see that in physics we have studied about quantum mechanics. Quantum of energy. What is quantum of energy? Light energy. So based on the physics principle of quantum mechanics, if the computers are working, then it is quantum computing. It is quantum computing. So here we are going to concentrate on quantum computing or quantum mechanical computers. So here you can see that Thomas J. Watson Research Center began investigating the physics of information processing circuits. So they actually applied this principle of physics, asking questions about where miniaturization might lead to some concept like computer. So how small can the components of circuits be made? That is how to reduce the size of the circuits in the conventional computers. Similarly, how much energy must be used the consumption of energy must be used up in the course of computation process. Because our computers, that is conventional, traditional computers, are physical devices. They are made up of physical components. Their basic operation is described by physics. So one physical fact of life is that as the components of computer circuits become very small, their description must be given by quantum mechanics. So now is it that quantum mechanics principle of the physics can be applied here. So from that only you are going to get quantum computers. In 1980s, Paul Benioff of Argonne National Laboratory, he built on Lander and Bennett's earlier results to show that a computer could in principle function in a purely quantum mechanical principle, that is quantum mechanical concept or property. So that is what he explained in 1980s. Soon after that, David Deutsch of the Mathematical Institute at the University of Oxford and other scientists in US and Israel began to model quantum mechanical computers to find out how they might differ from our classical computers. What is the difference between our classical computers and these quantum mechanical computers? In particular, they wondered whether quantum mechanical effects might be exploited to speed up computations or to perform calculations in a different way or in a novel way. It was done in 1980s. By the middle of the decade, the field languished for several reasons. See that some drawback came in that middle of that particular decade. First, all these researchers had considered quantum computers in the abstract instead of studying actual physical systems. That is an approach that Landwehr faulted on many counts. See, it also became evident that a quantum mechanical computer might be prone to errors and have trouble correcting them. And apart from one suggestion made by Richard Feynman, who is that Richard Feynman is that one of the important person in nanotechnology, DNA nano computing. So that is a suggestion made by Richard Feynman of the California University of Technology that quantum computers might be useful for simulating other quantum systems like new or unobserved forms of matter. It was unclear that they could solve mathematical problems any faster way than the conventional, that is the classical computers. So in the near past few years before, the scenario has changed. In 1993, see that a large class of familiar physical systems that might act as quantum computers in ways that avoid some of Landwehr's objections. So that the recent past, see that scenario has changed. Some new forms of physical systems were formed. So Peter W. Shor of AT&T Bell Laboratories has demonstrated that a quantum computer could be used to factor large numbers. That is a task that can foil the most powerful functioning of our conventional machines, conventional computer. So in 1995, workshops at the Institute for Scientific Interchange in Turin, Italy, spawned many designs for constructing quantum circuit, that is quantum circuit concept. So more recently, Jeff Kimball's group at Caltech and David J. Wineland's team at the National Institute of Standards and Technology they have built some of these prototype parts. That is, these prototype parts are having the concept of this convention, that is this quantum mechanic principles. So whereas David Corey of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Isaac Chuang of Los Alamos National Laboratory, they have demonstrated simple versions of this 1993 design done by the other person. So this article, this particular work done by this group that is having the concept of 1993 design, this explains how quantum computers might be assembled, and it describes some of the astounding things that could do that than the digital computers. So whatever the things done by digital computers, see that that can be done by these quantum computers, but some of the aspects, some of the things can be done by digital quantum computers, but that cannot be done by digital computers. So the concept here in quantum computer is going back to the basic principle of physics, and here you can see, you can take an atom, simple atom. For example, take our the simplest atom, hydrogen atom. So this is the hydrogen atom, the nucleus of the hydrogen, and the outer shell, you have one electron here because hydrogen is having only one electron in the K shell. So hydrogen atoms could be used to store bits of information in a quantum computer. So here hydrogen atom is going to act as the important, the basic component for storing the information in the form of bits. In our conventional computer, 0 and 1, 0 and 1, that is binary code, that is going to store the bits. So here hydrogen atom, an atom in its ground state, that is ground state is 0 state. Okay, ground state with its electron, here the electron of the hydrogen is here, with its electron in its lowest possible energy level, here, this is the lowest possible energy level, which is shown in blue, can represent 0 state, that is ground state. Ground state means lowest possible energy level of an electron in an atom. So this point, this level is 0 state. The same atom, it goes to excited state. Suppose the atom goes to excited state with its electron at a higher energy level. So the electron is there in the ground state here, but when this particular hydrogen atom undergoes excitation, this electron will move from this in its 0 level, that is ground state level, to excited level. It goes some point above the real point, that is real state, and it moves up to a particular distance, and it will remain in the other circuit. This is the excited level of this electron. So that is called higher energy level, because the electron has moved from ground state level to higher state level. It can represent 1. So this is 0 state, this is 1. So the atom's bit 0 or 1 can be flipped. That is, it can be flipped to the opposite value using a pulse of laser light. So here see that this is the laser light, yellow color. So when this laser light falls here, you see that the electron can flip off, that it can move from ground to excited or excited to ground. That can be changed by stimulating it, by applying, by so that is giving a energy. What is that? Laser energy. So the atom's bit will be moving from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. So in our conventional computer, you have binary code only, 0 or 1, 0 or 1. Same way, here also 0 state, that is ground state energy level, excited state energy level is created. So this 0 or 1 can be flipped to the opposite value using a pulse of laser light. If the photons, photon means light energy, if the photons in the pulse have the same amount of energy as the difference between the electrons ground state and its excited state, ground state to excited state, the difference between these two energy level, that is called 0 and 1, then the electron will jump from one state to another state. The electron will be jumping from ground to excited or excited to ground. Both the way can happen. So why this electron is jumping? When energy level differs, automatically electron will jump from this level to that level or that level to this level, by just making a difference in the energy state. So automatically electron will jump. So this concept is used in quantum computers. This is the basic principle of quantum mechanics. Basic principle of quantum mechanics already we have seen in physics. Here you can see that reading the bit, how to read the bit in a quantum computer. Reading the bit, an atom store is done using a laser pulse. The laser pulse comes here, laser pulse having the same amount of energy as the difference between the atom's excited state. Call it excited state of an atom, that is electron comes here. It is called E1, the energy state of an electron when the atom is excited is called E1. And an even higher, less stable state, that is called E2. Suppose from E1 it again further goes, it is called E2. If the atom is in its ground state, representing a zero position, this pulse has no effect because it is zero energy. But if it is in E1 state, that is excited state, representing 1, the pulse pushes it to E2. The atom will then return to E1, emitting a telltale photon. So here you can see that the laser comes here and it triggers the atom electron, and the electron will is already there in E0, and from there it goes to E1 state. Then from E1 state, because of this energy, you see that it comes back to, that is a first it comes it goes from E0 to E2, and when the pulse of laser comes there, it comes down from E2 to E1. At that time, some amount of equal amount of energy is released. What amount of energy is to put inside, the same difference of energy comes outside, but only electron position changes. So input energy photon, output energy photon, both are equal. In between what is happening? Only flip-flop of the electron takes place from one state to other state, E0 to E2 or E2 to E1 or E1 to E0, like that. So what happens finally? Same amount of energy goes inside, it comes outside. So in that way, you see that the binary code like condition, binary code on machine code on used in a conventional computer, same kind of situation is created here, but here it is done using photon, pulse of laser beams, that is with the help of quantum of energy, that is photonic energy, light energy, simply speaking. So this is quantum mechanics, the basic principle of quantum mechanics. Once it is used, so here you see that when the atom is coming back to its ground state, the atom will then return to E1, and from E1 it goes to E0, emitting a telltale of energy of photon. So whatever energy comes in the form of laser as incident energy, it goes outside. So this is used in quantum mechanical computers. So in quantum mechanics, that is the basic principle of this quantum mechanical computers. See that in quantum mechanics, you can see that it is done. That is actually quantum mechanics is already should that explained by physicists, because in physics we have seen that one. So these are all the physicists, that is Niels Bohr, Danish, they actually helped to invent the field. Anyone who can contemplate quantum mechanics without getting dizzy has not properly understood it. That is the quantum mechanics was well explained by these people. So for better or worse, quantum mechanics predicts a number of counter intuitive effects that have been verified experimentally again and again. To appreciate the weirdness of which quantum computers are capable, we need accept only a single strange fact called wave particle duality. So that is, this is the wave particle duality is the property of the light. Light is having dual property. What is that dual property of the light? Light will be behaving like waves, and sometimes it is that is behaving like a particle wave, that is wave particle. So this wave particle duality means that things things we think of as solid particles, because in particle form, that is called quantum particle of light energy, and in quantum particle duality of this light, it is understood that light is having solid particles. They are called quantum particles, photons. They are called photons. So such solid particles such as basketballs and atoms behave under some circumstances like waves, and that things we normally describe as waves, such as sound waves. You have seen sound waves, about the property of the sound waves in physics. Similarly, the light waves. So occasionally they behave like particles. That is the particle theory of the light, quantum particle. In essence, quantum mechanical theory sets forth what kind of waves are associated with what kind of particles, and vice versa. So the first strange implication of wave particle duality is that small systems such as atoms are smallest, that these atoms can exist only in discrete energy states, as is explained in the hydrogen atom. So when an atom moves from one energy state to another energy state, it absorbs some amount of energy, or sometimes it emits energy in exact amounts or chunks called photons, which might be considered the particles that make up light waves. The second consequence is that quantum mechanical waves, like water waves, can be superposed or added together. So taken individually, these waves offer a rough description of a given particle's position. When two or more such waves are combined, though the particle's position becomes unclear. So in some weird quantum sense, an electron can sometimes be both here and there at the same time. Such an electron's location will remain unknown until some interaction happens, such as photon bouncing, a photon bouncing off the electron. That is a photon means light energy which is bouncing outside when the electron position changes. So it reveals it to be either here or there, but not both. Both the position will not be happening same time. So when two superposed quantum waves behave like one wave, they are said to be coherent waves. Coherent waves. The process by which two coherent waves regain their individual identities, it is called decoherence. That is, individually they are separated, it's called decoherence. When they are connected, it is called coherent. So for an electron in a superposition of two different energy states, that is ground state or excited state, roughly two different positions within an atom, decoherence can take a long time. So days can pass before a photon Say for example, it will collide with an object as small as an electron. So expositing its a true position. An electron will be in two positions, but that is not taken here because it will be quickly moving. So in principle, basketballs could be both here and there. The basketball is an electron. It could be here and there at once as well, even in the absence of this Michael Jordan concept. So in practice, the time it takes for a photon to bounce off a ball, that is the light energy. Photon is light energy. Bounce off a ball is too brief for the eye because you cannot see it very quickly or any instrument to detect it. The ball is simply too big for its exact location to go undetected for any perceivable amount of time. So what is the consequence? Consequently, as a rule, only small subtle things exhibit quantum weirdness. So here is it that that electron is actually moving here and there. At that time, is that a flip-flop of electron takes place. At the same time, the photon energy, the light energy, is that it is also going in and coming outside, as we have seen in the hydrogen atom. Then quantum information. Information comes in discrete chunks, as do atomic energy levels in quantum mechanics. The quantum of information is the bit. The information which is present in the form of light quantum is called 1 bit. A bit of information is simple distinction between two alternatives. That is, two alternatives, possible alternatives are, what are the two alternatives? No or yes. These are the two alternatives. Suppose in conventional computer, in our ordinary computer, binary code, what are all the two codes in binary language? 0 and 1. 0 and 1. Only two are possible because it is a binary language. Binary code language or machine language. So here in quantum mechanical computer, there are two simple distinctions. Two alternatives are possible. One is no, the other one is yes. No means 0, yes means 1, or false, true, true or false. Only two alternatives. So in digital computers, the voltage between the plates in a capacitor represents a bit of information. In conventional computer, a charged capacitor registers a 1 and an uncharged capacitor registers a 0. Charged capacitor is one position, uncharged capacitor is 0 position. 0 1 0 1, that is binary code in digital computer. In a quantum computer, here you can see that a quantum computer functions by matching the familiar discrete charges of digital information processing through strange discrete character of quantum mechanics. That is false state or true state, or 0 state or 1 state. No or yes. 0 state means ground level of the electron in the atom. 1 state is excited level. So now it is similar to the concept of 0 1 0 1 binary code in digital computer. But here electron position or location makes a difference.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Friends, in this session we have seen about what is this quantum mechanical computers, the quantum mechanics principle, the principle of the quantum mechanics. Then we have seen about quantum mechanics principle used in computers, that is quantum mechanical computers, the concept of quantum computation, quantum information. Then we have seen the important uses of quantum mechanical computers. With that, I'm going to end this session. I'll be coming back with another session for you in the next video session. Until then, it is bye from KNS Biochemistry. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Namaskar.